Hi everyone, welcome back to my YouTube channel. I am Reeti and I am back with another lecture of the DBMS series. So in the last set of lectures, we got to know more about mapping constraints in DBMS, one-to-one, one-to-many, many-to-one and many-to-many. In this particular video, we would be knowing about a small concept but yet important concept that is called as participation constraint. So why we are knowing about this participation constraint, ER, relationships, entities, attributes and much more things. So what happens now? Consider in a very vague way. You have been given an API to design. So what you will do, the very first thing is you will know the requirements. What are the requests of your API, what would be the responses of your API and much more things. Now second, you would be asking for a LLD diagram, that is a low level design diagram. Because your API is internally calling this particular clients and this particular manipulations are done inside. So you will ask for the LLD. Once you get the LLD diagram, you would just implement the code and then the API would be working. In the similar way, what happens is whenever we are designing any database, we first get the requirements for the database, that what are the entities in the database, what would be their characteristics and much more things. Once we get all the entities, the primary key, the attributes or the basic requirements, we go ahead and draw the ER model using that entities, then establish a relationship between entities and draw all about the characteristic, the relationship and much more things. Now once we are done with the ER model, that is the visual representation of our API, what we do is we go ahead and draw the tables for that, that is the relational model. So we draw the tables for all that particular design or all that particular visual representation we had. Now for that particular tables to show in our laptop or to show in our database, what we do is we use a programming language for the same, that is SQL. So here also what we are doing is since we are knowing more about ER model, and as I told in the very end of this ER model series, or you can say in the very end of this ER model topic, we would be designing a model for Instagram. So basically whenever we are designing such a huge database, like Instagram is having such a huge database, or any social media or any delivery platform which is having such a huge database, they have many things, like they tend to use some of the best practices, they tend to use or they tend to do the code reusability, they avoid the data inconsistency and much more things. So here also comes into the picture the participation. Now what is the participation constraint? Let's go and understand. So from the definition, participation constraints in ER model define whether every entity in one group must be connected with at least one entity in another group, or if the connection is optional. So what happens in the participation constraint? As you know that in ER model we basically deals about entities and their relationship. Consider that there are two entities, they are having a relationship among them. Now what kind of relationship they are having? We have learnt about what kind of relationship they may be having, strong relationship, weak relationship, how they are internally mapped. We have learned about mapping constraints, one to one, one to many, many to many and many to one. Now in this particular video we are knowing about what is the participation of that particular entities. So if two entities are together in a relationship, how they are participating? Is each record in one entity is participating with another record in present in another entity? So what kind of participation? So basically from the participation constraint you can understand from the word itself how entities are participating in the relationship. We deal about that in the participation constraint. So whether every entity in one group must be connected with at least one entity in another group, or if the connection is optional. So there are two types of participation constraint. One is total participation and second one is partial participation. So partial participation is called as optional, and total participation is this in which one entity in another group must be connected. So must be connected is the total participation and optional is the partial participation. So let's learn about these two participation. So the first participation is the total participation. So what happens in total participation? In total participation constraint, each entity in a participation set must be associated with at least one entity in the related entity set. So what it says is each entity in the participation set. So this is the participation set. And this is the related entity set. when we are seeing from the department point of view. So whenever we are seeing from the department point of view, department is the participation set and employees is the entity set. Now here you can see there are two entities, employees and department. Employees having some attributes or characteristics in which EID is the primary key. Department is also having some attributes and characteristics in which department ID is the primary key. Now you can see here I have given a single line, but here I have given two lines. So basically these two lines means the total participation. So what it says is employee works in a department. So every department would be at least having one employee. Consider that there are many departments, okay? Engineering department, HR department, sales department, and much more. Consider today I am making one more department, XYZ. So if there are no employees in this department, does this department makes any sense? So in the same way that in each department, there would be at least one employee. So department is having a total participation with employee, that in each department there would always be an employee. But it's not true that each employee would be working in a department. There could be some more employees which doesn't work in a department. They just come on a contract basis or something like that. So there could be a possibility that every employee is not associated with department, but every department must have a employee. In the same way, you can also take an example of this relationship. Consider that there is a customer who borrows loan. So there are two entities, loan and customer, and borrow is the relationship. Now every customer borrows a loan. So consider there are loans L1, L2, L3. So L1 may be associated with one customer, L2 may be associated with one customer, L3 may be associated with one customer. But there won't be any loan which is not associated with any customer. How come there is a loan for which there is no customer, right? So loan would always be having a total participation with customer. But for customer, there might be some customers who are not taking loan, who are not having any loans. So customer can exist individually or can have a partial or optional participation, that not every customer needs to have a loan, but every loan is somehow associated with one customer. So in the partial participation, in partial participation constraints, entities in the participating entity set may or may not be associated with entities in the related entity set. So if we are seeing from the employee's point of view, this is the participating set, and this is the associated entity set, or you can say related entity set. Now, not every employee from the participating set should be associated with related entity set. So not every employee should be present in all the departments or a particular department. Every department should have an employee, but not every employee should be a part of any department. In the same way, every customer can borrow loan, or loan is something which is associated with every customer, but there may be some customers who don't wish to borrow loan, right? So in this example, not every customer is borrowing loan. Some customers are borrowing loan, some customers are not, but each loan is associated with one customer, because there can't be any loan which is not associated with any customer. So this was all about participation constraint in this particular video. I hope you like this video. So if you like this video, please hit the like button. If you're someone who is new to my channel, go ahead and check out the tech content first. And if you find it useful, you can go ahead and subscribe. Also, if you're someone who is very new to DBMS, or if you know someone who is starting with DBMS, you can surely suggest this series, because this series is very beginner friendly. So till then, take care, keep learning, keep growing, keep smiling. Bye all.